As promised, let's put the conversation in top gear. Industry experts believe that there is likely to be a double-digit growth in the passenger retail vehicle sales in the month of December. But the question is, will this demand sustain? All the companies have come out and said on account of the commodity price increases, they are undertaking a price hike in the month of January. So what is December going to look like? Has there been a good demand? Will that continue in the month of January? We've got two experts joining in, Manish Singhania, the managing partner at Ralas Motors, and Nikunj Sanghi, the chairman of Automotive Skill Development Council. These two gentlemen are here with us. Thank you so much for joining in. Mr. Sanghi, if I may start the discussion with you, if you could tell us what are the wholesale as well as the retail numbers looking like for the month of December, for passenger vehicles, for two-wheelers, for commercial vehicles? Go ahead.
So I guess passenger vehicles definitely is on a roll, and there seems to be very good traction both in terms of wholesale and retails for the passenger vehicle segment. In fact, retail seem to be better than wholesale for passenger vehicles. And I guess I would want to give it more to the price increase, which has been announced by almost all OEMs almost a fortnight back, that from 1st January prices are going up. And I guess it's mostly because of runaway increase in input costs, and which is primarily to do with commodity price increases. So passenger vehicles definitely on a roll. Two-wheelers, the picture is not so good. Two-wheelers, you can actually see a degrowth in retail. However, wholesale seems to be flattish. So I guess we will see some kind of an inventory build up in two-wheeler segment. Commercial vehicles, so there is a month-on-month improvement in commercial vehicles. And there are some segments which are really picking up, which have to do with primarily tippers, oil tankers. Those are two segments which are seeing some traction. Light commercial vehicles also are seeing some traction because of more and more e-commerce happening and the hub and spoke model getting adopted. So home delivery is becoming the norm. So I think that's attracting some amount of traction in the small commercial vehicle industry. But M&HCV continues to be strained, and doesn't look like M&HCV will be on track very soon. I guess it will take some time because there is overcapacity in CVs. Moreover, there are a lot of vehicles which are also available for resale with financiers where customers have defaulted on payment. So commercial vehicles definitely does not look bright. That's from me.
Okay, all right. So that's a quick overview of all the segments, and given what Mr. Sanghi has said, I guess it's more of the same. It's a continuation of the trend that we got in perhaps in October, November. That seems to be continuing in December. Let's bring in Manish Singhania, managing partner at Ralas Motors, into the conversation as well. Mr. Singhania, on passenger vehicles specifically, what is your sense? Given that prices are going up pretty much across the board, across OEMs, across models in January, does the market have the elasticity to absorb this price hike, or will it start hitting volumes because the festive season is also now behind us?
So if you see overall in the market, the demand of passenger vehicles has been good, and I think this segment has recovered the fastest post-COVID, since market has opened up. And if you look at the total festive season also, there has been a spillover of demand during the festival season, which the OEMs could not address due to shortage and short supply of vehicles. And the same you can see in December also. There is a certain definite shortage of vehicles, passenger cars across OEMs. And moreover, there is this year change concept. So manufacturing in December month is limited to certain numbers. They cannot start manufacturing and dispatches of the next financial year. So looking to the demand and supply gap in the overall passenger vehicle segment, I think the price hike would be partially absorbed by the market and it will be accepted. Vehicles per se are in shortage, and there are models in some OEMs where the bookings have gone up to 4 or 5 months. So I think this price hike will be observed by the market, and the demand will continue to happen. But the biggest gap, if you look at numbers that will come in, compared to last year, January, February, March, we had buoyant BS4 vehicle sales, retails. So the same same numbers would not happen in coming January, February, March. So year to year, quarter to quarter comparison would be very difficult to make.
Manish, you're a dealer for Mahindra and Mahindra. If you could tell us the picture, the traction that M&M's vehicles have seen, both on the automotive as well as on the tractor side.
Oh, we are not tractor dealers, but definitely in automotive there is a shortage of vehicles across models. In fact, there is a kind of rationing of vehicles by the OEM. Whatever bookings or retail numbers that I have, that is only being provided by the manufacturer. I think I'll be closing in a nominal or a zero stock in month end, in fact, and the numbers are very rationed. Two things: there is a supply constraint, and as I told you, there's an year change also. So in passenger car, normally a customer wants a new year vehicle, manufactured vehicles. So that trend is also there. So very good. That's a good sign, but the required number of vehicles that I can sell in a particular month, that is not available to me as a dealer. And in tractors, definitely the market is very buoyant. I'm not a tractor dealer, but still for Mahindra, it has been very buoyant. If you look at the numbers, post-COVID, it is the fastest market to recover. In fact, all these segments have been degrowing, but April to November figures, if you see across India, tractors have been growing by around 10 to 11%.
Okay. Mr. Sanghi, if I could come back to the point that you were making, on passenger vehicles once again. Now we are also going to be entering, this whole situation with dual front airbags being made mandatory. That will also perhaps add to the price. So do you think the COVID pent-up demand is behind us? So as we get into January onwards, what is the sustainability of passenger vehicle demand?
Well, I think sustainability of passenger vehicle demand is definitely a question which everybody is dealing with. And on the top of it, there is this price increase which will have to be passed on to the customer. I don't think manufacturers have the option of absorbing any part of the price increase, either to do with dual airbags or to do with commodity price increases. And like you rightly said, yes, whatever pent-up demand was there has been taken care of. The other thing that we also need to look at is that this time in the last quarter of this financial year, which is the January-March quarter, there are no marriages at all. The next marriage season starts only in April. So some of the demand which comes out because of marriages probably will also be absent in this quarter. So I think while I'm very optimistic about how the passenger vehicles are behaving, I'd like to definitely add a word of caution in terms of this quarter not being as buoyant as the last quarter.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Sanghi, on two-wheelers, you said that you're seeing a degrowth in the two-wheeler retail sales. What, according to you, is the reason for that? And is that a trend which is likely to continue in the coming months?
So I guess we will need to go back a bit. So if you look at what happened post-COVID, and post-COVID, and you saw very good retail for two-wheelers in the period June, July, August, September. I think two-wheelers did much better in their growth. The numbers coming back much, much faster than the passenger vehicles. Passenger vehicles were a little late to start. So the pent-up demand which was there for two-wheelers was mostly taken care of. And now I think there is a lot of worry as far as the consumer is concerned. They are trying to be cautious. They are worried about jobs. They are worried about business coming back. So except for some amount of buoyancy in the rural sector, I think the urban sector is not picking up at all. On the top of it is what is happening to educational institutions. So there is still a huge question mark on when the educational institutions will open. And even if they do open, will they open to full capacities? And a lot of two-wheeler demand comes out of demand from students. So I think that is totally absent. And finally, of course, work from home is almost an accepted principle now. And looks like that work from home will continue for a good time to come, and will probably become a permanent feature for a big section of the working population. So I think these are all the reasons
okay, I think we have Mr. Sanghi on a really bad line. Even I had a follow-up question on commercial vehicles, but I think the lines are not obliging us today. So, Manish, if I could get back to you, what is your sense on demand as we get into January? The newer models, of course, come in. December, obviously, a lot of the cyclical factors play out, so let's leave that behind. January onwards, what would be an expected stable run rate that you would imagine that the industry can clock?
So, I think, till now, rural demand has been driving the demand as such, numbers. And if you see, we had a very good monsoon, and overall, the country had a very good crop. So the crop gets encashed from December, January and all that. So the money would be in the hands of farmers. So rural demand will definitely move forward since the money would be there available with the farmers. And as the country starts opening up and industrial activities increase and various kind of vaccine, we are so much hearing about the vaccine, it comes in force. And the migrant labor that has migrated back to his hometown or hometown comes back to the factory and start working. So all these things I see happening in, say, another 3 or 6 months. So I think all this thing will bring about positivity in the market, and the numbers will definitely grow on a month-to-month basis.
Manish, Mr. Sanghi, thank you very much for joining in. So that's the expectation on how the month has gone by. We'll get the actual numbers, of course, on 1st of January for the month of December, but also, just flagging off some caution about how the industry will have to pass on the price increases to consumers, and will the consumers be able to absorb it, and will it therefore impact the demand that we've seen up until now. On that note, we still need to slip into a very short break. We'll come back with more on the markets.